Hey guys, so I'm on this virtual machine that we installed Arch Linux on last night in that video. If you haven't watched it, it's called Arch Linux is Beginner Friendly. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over some comments, in fact, about some things. We're going to go over some gatekeepers, if you will. Alright, now most YouTubers don't show you this side of things. They'll pick out comments and they'll put them up instead of showing you with all of them, but this is what we're going to do. Here we go. So this is the one I want to start off with because this is the last one that I ended up getting. I don't want to actually do that. I don't want things to be full screen. 1 second. There we go. Let's fix that and then we'll, where did it go? That's funny. Ah, there it is. Okay, this window's floating, so that's why I'm having these issues. We have issues. It's part of it. So, you were on a roll with Arch install, but it all fell apart with the EA and Pac-Man mess, stalling your presentation. That's how you're going to convince beginners. That's how you're not going to convince beginners. No, that's how I am going to convince beginners. I've been doing this for 15 years of teaching Arch Linux from the ground up. And that's the thing. It works. Because when you introduce them to the AUR, their mind opens completely up and to endless possibilities. And I'm going to teach them how to troubleshoot issues. I'm going to teach them that outdated packages can still be installed, but are not recommended. Don't do it. But if you're desperate to get the application and you don't want to wait for an update, you can grab it and use it in the meantime. And it will just automatically update when that package updates. Like, there's so many ways to install different applications. There's just endless amounts. And this is so that every user can find out which way they like best. Do you want to use a GUI? We got that covered. I showed installation in the video. Do you want to use the terminal? I showed 2 ways, Yay and Pac-Man. The point is, show them what they can do so that they get to decide which way they want to do it in the long run. Microsoft does the same thing. They allow different package managers now. They allow you to install packages in the terminal. They are learning from Linux to expand outward, to truly like open up things, and I get that they're trying to save themselves from the inevitable possibility of being destroyed in the future because of their inability to use common sense. I appreciate that. But I'm going to make one thing clear. When I show a video about installing things, I will be completely open and transparent on what you can do, and I will help troubleshoot problems that I have in the video to make sure that people understand what's going on. Okay, that's always who I've been. That's always who I will be. What is this way? Oh my god, that's outdated as fuck. Yeah. Where is this? What is this sort by? Why is that there? I've never actually seen this before. Like in terms of reading comments and stuff. Interesting. I don't speak English. I never did. Okay, you just wrote it. I don't know. Let's be random here. Yeah, mention that. Facts. I've always told my friends to start with Arch Linux. They understand it. They care about their friends enough that they want them to have a good learning experience and to be able to expand out to just grow as a person. And this person is like, I respectively disagree with this video. Arch Linux is a Linux for more advanced Linux users. Says fucking who? Alright? I'm sorry, but if a 6-year-old, the first time I ever did this with my son, can grasp it in less than 2 seconds, it is not advanced at all. It's not. It has an installer now. You can do things the old-fashioned way. You can have your GUI package managers. You can have your desktop environments from install. You get everything out of the box. There is nothing advanced about Arch Linux compared to any other distro. Nothing. It's delusional to think that. There is no credibility to his point whatsoever, and I don't think he understands that. The install process is not user-friendly, which it was, and I showed that. I ran into problems with mounting. You ran into problems with mounting what? What did you run into problems with mounting? 1 second. Let me put that over there on that other monitor. No. I really got to install a better terminal. 1 second. Thank you. I like how I used a terminal to install the terminal. Yeah, because I'm that guy. Thank you. This is the terminal I like to use. Again, it's because you have a thing that's called choice. Let's just do that. So, you have a problem with mounting, okay? So, what the wiki tells you to do is mount, then the device name. So, let's say... Ooh, no, we do not want to do that. There we go. So that's not actually what we want. Can't find dev in SDO tool. So what you would normally do is fdisk-l, and you would do this in the installer, so it would end up actually displaying information. As you can see, we are VDA2, okay? So we would do VDA2. That's what we would mount. And we would mount this in /mount, okay? And that's where all the files and everything would normally be installed to during a standard Arch install. And I don't think that he understands that. Like, I want to actually go over something here really quick. GitHub Gist. GitHub Gist is a great place. It's where I store my gists, which are like really cool guides, I guess. Secret ones, by the way. And I think this is the one. So let's do this. This is a normal Arch install right here. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in. So type fdisk-l. Then you find the HDD or SSD or NVMe that will be listed. Again, I showed you how to do that. And then you type fdisk. Okay. So once we know what we want, right? We type cfdisk, okay? And again, you're going to need sudo, but in the installer you wouldn't. And then you get this. Do you want to remove it? No, we do not. It would basically show you everything. So it would go over like how to partition the drive properly and everything like that. It's one of those things you want to do. It's a great learning experience. I can't do it here because if I did, it would end up wiping the install that we're currently using, and I don't want to do that. No, hey, what are you doing? Go back. That was entertaining as hell. Alright, let's move on. What the hell? Why would it tell you to mount and bar temp? What the hell happened to the wiki? Dude. Yeah, no, you just had a horrible install page experience. Skill issue. I never used Linux in my life. I never used a terminal before, and yet I was able to install Arch Linux with both Hyperland and Plasma. See? And again, there's some applications that are not there, like Reddit, YouTube. Like, all that is just, that's browser stuff. Yeah. But GitHub desktop is on the AUR. There we go. My Linux experience was also with Mint, but I quickly switched to CachyOS. Cool. I also installed Arch Vanilla on a separate SSD. See? There we go. Most people do. I don't know what the hell that is. Someone who's worked with tech support, most people tend to be pretty ignorant. Yeah, well, tech support is the worst side of everything. You will literally get animals in tech support who come in as the most impatient people on earth who expect you to fix everything, even some things that can't. My cat died. Can you help me with that? Or they call the police and say, Facebook is down, Twitter's down. People are nuts these days. We're not talking about people from tech support where we're talking about the person that was willingly want to go to install Linux. Those people are different from the people you're going to find in tech support. That's Like, look at this. Most of them do not want to read the wiki or learn. That's not true. If you're going to go install Linux, you're going to get interested in what you're going to do. If you see someone else do it, you're going to think, well, they did it, and I know them pretty well, so I can do it. Again, another comment that does not apply to the current situation at hand. It does not mean that Arch Linux is not beginner friendly. It means whoever that person is just didn't care enough to want to just go like, okay, and that's what the Arch install's for. There's no wiki necessary. I didn't even friggin' show the wiki in the video, and people keep bringing it up like it's something you're supposed to go to. Yay. No, exactly. You don't need any special talent or education for any of this. And you'll actually have less issues if you prefer to use the terminal. Yes, thank you. Right there. This comment, you get a gold fucking star right here. Look at this. Amazing and true. See? Great taste in music. Yeah. Thank you. By the way, I didn't go over today's comments fully, so this is me catching up. I wish the Arch Wiki was a bit more noob-friendly. I wish the Arch Wiki was written better and not outdated. Hence why I showed Arch install. Yes, more up to date. It's kind of staggering how much outdated info still exists that either has, yeah, exactly. There you go. Terminal fear. Install CachyOS. True. Or use Arch install. Arch is a meme. No. Arch is not a meme. People are just ignorant of a great thing. I just got really lightheaded. Ooh, breathe. Arch is beginner friendly for people that lack that with little technical knowledge on Linux. Completely good. Yes, there you go. Exactly. I don't think this guy understands. I opened a terminal to use NeoVim when working on a group project and software. The entire group was looking at me like I was some sort of prodigy. That's funny. I'm just gonna be like this. Oh, well, that side of the VM went to sleep. That's nice. For cools, thanks. Thanks for cools also. What the hell that means? Should I switch to Arch if I use Debian 12 and like its Gnome software install? I don't know if there's difficult ways. System packages on Arch. Gnome software just works out of the box. It was on my dock and shown in the video, along with another GUI app to install AUR/local repo packages. Cool. Let's see. As a new Linux user, I advise to you're new. You can't advise anyone yet. Give it a year. Dude, really? Oh, this one's fun. I totally disagree, again, with your take here. Bad take. Yeah, great English, buddy. It's literally the opposite of beginner friendly. Here we go, Gatekeeper. Just because you've been using Arch Linux for years and done the process over and over again doesn't mean it's beginner friendly. I did the Arch install process once in my life and I was hooked because of how dead simple and stupid easy it was. I went from Ubuntu, which has an installer, to Arch, which has no installer. You are the installer. And I literally did it in a virtual machine. I'm like, I was scared of this shit? You gotta be kidding me. So again, remember this? I wrote this just after. Okay, it's been revisioned and revisioned and revisioned again and again. I even took it from the original revision, and this is everything, right? This is the original install, but it still works today. I swear to God. And yes, you are putting people down if you say they can't do something. Everything in the universe is beginner friendly because it can be learned. Almost nothing in Linux takes a college degree, a high school education, an elementary school education, preschool, yes. Basic reading, writing, patience. That's it. And to be fair, most people have the attention span of squirrel because of TikTok. The reasoning is just inadequate. They're judging people based on their own past experiences and gatekeeping them from trying to learn and improve themselves. This is the biggest issue that we have in the Arch Linux community, in any community anywhere. Everything is too scary for me, so it's too scary for you. Ooh, don't be that way. Look, if you're scared to do something, this is why we have virtual machines. They're so easy to set up, okay? I need to do a Vert Manager guide here on Arch pretty soon because there's some things extra that you need to do, but it's pretty simple to get a virtual machine installed, up and running, and you're in there, you're testing, you're working in a real-time environment, and if you screw up, you can just start again, and it doesn't take down your entire PC. It's basically, you're safe. You have a good learning environment. That's what matters. This is just him pandering his own BS. And I hate it. These are gatekeepers, and I just tend to move on and ignore them, except when I comment to them. And yes, Octopi, as I like to call it, does remind me of the package manager from Ubuntu. Arch Linux is simply brilliant. I use RichArch, by the way. With it, I was able to get Linux up and running quickly. Hell yeah. Or hell yeah, Peter. I don't see the big deal about Arch running on 3 computers. Yes, people are overhyped about how difficult it is. It's not difficult at all. There's myths when you're in Arch Linux. There's myths when you're in Debian. There's myths about Ubuntu. There's myths about everything. There's myths about myths, and it's just trying to break them down and kill the stigma behind Linux is difficult. But that's what this entire channel is trying to do. We're trying to destroy the barriers that prevent people from moving in. So when people find that video and they see how easy it really is to get up and started with Arch, so you don't have to be slowed down by Mint, you don't have to be stuck in an environment where you barely learn anything, you can grow an environment where you learn to troubleshoot if you have issues, and more. Like, I have entire videos on Pac-Man. There's a whole playlist on how to use it, and it's incredible. I don't really remember most of it because I use the A for everything, but it's still there. Again, it's not difficult whatsoever. If a kindergartner can do it, you can do it. Okay? It's not saying you're stupid. It means that you are smart enough to pull off anything if you truly put your reading ability to good work. Okay? Or just type a simple command, Arch install, or use CachyOS, or use Endeavor to install Linux. But Arch is one of the most beginner-friendly things you'll ever find due to the way you can just get stuff done. You're a far better person than me on the basis of viewing people so highly. Well, I have enough interactions with people as a person with autism to be able to view them highly enough to be able to give such experience. It would lead to saying that Arch is considered pretty good. I mean, I've installed Arch, a manual install, but it doesn't come close to the meme. Yes, thank you. He had it right. Near the end. Keep at it. And thank you. God damn it. You know what? He gets a double N. There we go. In my country, I share ideas of trying any longer. People say they're afraid of messing up their machines. Jesus Christ. Yes, see? Getting translators in there and making everything work. People could jump in and do that. I mean, in his country, people have the excuse that everything's done in English, so that most people in Taiwan just won't bother with it. But if the hardware and software documentation was up to date and actually written in another language, I guarantee there'd be more people jumping on it every day. All right, let's continue on. This is surprising. This person is usually really open about things and they're really perceptive. In the video, I do not fight with the terminal. In the video, I show the GUI applications. In the video, we literally install the drivers in the installation. Setup, Arch install has everything. So the comment really makes no sense. I like that. Step out of your comfort. Oh, my bad. There you go. Then I gotta correct this. I wish I would stop pressing random buttons, but it's really, really difficult with how my brain is. Yes, see, started using Linux a year and a half ago. I love that. And he found Arch Linux to be one of the most simple things. What the hell? That was a great video. Okay, as a Fedora user, you're very welcome. If you need any assistance, I have a video in the description below. There you go. Again, I have a video. I have something in the description below to help anybody transition to any other OS. No. Too bloated and hacky. I agree. All right. Does Arch support HDR? Yes, every distro supports HDR as long as it has an updated version of GNOME 48 and Plasma and Hyperland. This is so stupid. Then there's using Windows and thinking it's good stupid. What? Why does this person even bother to comment if they're not going to bring anything? Oh, look at this person. This person rarely comments, by the way. I think I've only ever seen them comment a few times. They enjoy the videos. Always nice. Yeah, basically, I do the best that I can to support other people. And yeah. Oh God, you installed Manjaro. And then you just... shame. Okay, switched to Linux, used Mint for 2 days, then installed Arch, and I haven't found any other distro that compares to Arch so far. Yes. There we go. Beat the stigma. I used XFC for my first 14 years of Linux, and it's pretty user-friendly. Yeah, it is true. Yeah, they were going on about desktop environments and about which works and which doesn't, and that's completely understandable. And this guy had the most random thing where his battery only charges up to 53%. I have a laptop and mine goes completely to 100% from 0. It's the weirdest stuff. I was planning on installing Mint, but now I'm going to try Arch. Check the playlist. Right there, it goes over every single thing that you'll ever need. This is a good guide for a noob. I'm going to start this. So far, I'm using CachyOS. CachyOS is perfect. Don't be shy. Try it today. The learning curve isn't that hard. It's not. Yeah, I don't do clickbait. Nice try. The only looks hard because it's not as colorful as the installer that most distros use. Pretty cool if you have the little ones. Yeah, see? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Literally, that's if I say it, that's what I'm going to put it. I have no filter. It's not really bad. The whole streamlined now the experience if you don't know how to do something. Yes, Google. Most people don't understand. You use Google. Hey Google, make a fart sound. She farted. Google's awesome. Yes, terminal fear. Terminal fear is one of the biggest issues for installing any distro from scratch. It prevents you from learning so much because you're scared to death. You open up a terminal and you're like, where's the installer? You know, and it's just like, oh no. Yeah. So I've actually gone to a few forums and I have asked people why they think others should not install Arch Linux, and it's mostly because they don't think people can do it. They think people are stupid. And don't be putting people down. You never want to put people down. That's not nice. Yeah. So this guy was talking about how CachyOS and Linux Mint is GUI for hitting a single update button, Flatpaks, and all this goodness, and yada yada yada. CachyOS can have that. Arch Linux can have that. It's not really that hard to do. I also showed that you can update everything. And basically this guy is a gatekeeper. And that this is a weird bug. Look at this. It repeats itself again down here. Yeah, I agree with the title. Vanilla Arch might not be great for someone that does not care about their OS at all, but it just needs some functional beginner to learn. A great place to start. The documentation on the wiki, I agree for the most part, except for the documentation is slightly outdated. Hey, Arch developers, do it. And again, this guy was like, he wants to install it manual, but the Arch wiki is confusing. And basically, I gave him the guide, and he took a look at it. It's way easier. I'm pretty straightforward with my guides. Went from Mint to Fedora, KDE, and now to Cachy. It somehow feels nicer to install and update via terminal. Yes. So they also went from Mint, which most people do, to Fedora, which most people don't do, to Cachy, which most people do. See, Mint is like the opening ground for suffering. It takes about 8 seconds to open up a terminal, maybe about 1 to 5, I guess. And then you're just like, why is this so slow? And then when people get to a modern distro and they realize how blazing fast it is to go to a modern, actually updated, bug-tested distro, you're just like, this is night and day. Like, we could do this just forever. Oh, what happened? Where are we? Oh, we're back up here again, so let me just head back down. That was weird. And this is the guy that corrected me, so thank you, Danny, for showing about the AUR. All you have to do is click the alien head, and you can do that. It's silly, but it is. But my friends are stupid and don't want to look and read at all. I love this guy. This guy's funny. This guy's one of my favorite guys, by the way. He's one of my moderators, and yeah. He's pretty good. Alright, I think we're good enough here at this point. I mean, the rest of the comments are basically just people constantly gatekeeping and trolling, and there it is. So, again, look, if you're having trouble and you're struggling with learning something, you're getting overwhelmed and things are getting really, really complicated, you need to step back, you need to take a breath, and you need to understand that you can do anything. All you have to do is just realize no matter what happens, it's going to get done. If you get stuck, Google the answer or ask in a Discord that has an Arch channel. And if someone tries to gatekeep your ass, just keep asking and being like, okay, that's great, but can anybody actually help me with my issue instead of trying to pass me off as someone who's too stupid to learn something? That would be great. Thanks. I'm here to get help. I'm not here to be belittled or put down. That is rude, and that is against your own rules of the server. Don't do that. Or you can come to my Discord if I'm available to help you. I will. If the other admins are available to help you, they will. We also have a bunch of support users that can do the same. It just would probably take a little bit of time. The Nobara Discord has an Arch channel. There's some users that are a bit toxic that don't actually use Arch that talk in that channel, unfortunately. Ignore them. They don't know what they're talking about. They've had their own weird problems due to their hardware. You'll be able to tell them apart pretty quick. CachyOS is probably one of the best Discords to get support from, but remember to use the search button in the Discord to check for past issues, to see how to fix things or implement things or do things. And again, the number one thing that you can do is you could head to my channel. Let's see. Let me see if I can spell my name right here. Oh. God darn it. I don't know why that went over there. What the hell is that? Oh, there's other people besides me. Weird. Do I actually have anything that pops up for me? There I am. Right there. See? Bam. Head here. Okay. So this is my channel. And see this? The very, very first playlist. If we go in here, you'll notice all of the videos that I have on Linux going over distributions, dot files, first looks at stuff, changes, testing graphics cards, fresh installs of CachyOS, DNF guides. There's everything that you could ever want and imagine within this simple playlist. And if we go back out here, okay, you may notice that we have other ones. Where is it? There's popular videos, which is kind of cool, but there's a playlist button. We go in here, you'll notice that we do have Fedora guides, and we do have understanding Pacman and package managers in Arch Linux, which is super helpful. And my weird music taste. Like, we have so many weird things in this channel that you could totally take a look at. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on the videos, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, do all that stuff. Check the description below if you want to help support me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. Silly ass comments. Don't you try to gatekeep people.